Umangaliso uSicelo kwaButhelezi, popularly known as Coach Sicelo. I am so honored to be having this. It's always a thrill for me to have conversations about entrepreneurship. I am so passionate about the coaching itself. I'm currently a business advisor at TechnoServe, working full-time, assisting entrepreneurs in a program called Yobit, Youth and Women Businesses in Tech. I like to maybe share a little bit more later about that because it's such exciting work. But that's who Coach Sicelo is. He's a business coach who's out there assisting businesses realize their growth goals.
So lovely to have you today, finally, Coach Stella. How are you?
Oh, it's Noctula. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this conversation.
I'm excited as well. So let's just get into it. TechnoServe. You currently calling women in tech to sign up so that they can scale their businesses. Why women this time?
Well, the way that we looked at it is that we sort of know by now what kind of businesses are tech businesses and what kind of things that you expect within a tech business, especially that is a startup. And when the program was launched, it first came out as a survival to recovery program, as always meant to take its 18 months, and that 18 months ended October 2022. So now we are entering the growth phase where we want to take these businesses and really rise with them. But now, why women and why in tech? It's because we've noticed, and we are pivoting even as we go along, we are learning from ourselves. We are noticing that when you are helping these businesses from South, women have been when it comes to women business owners. We realize that impacts of things like your flooding, things like your high rise in unemployment, the normal stuff that we see, increase in petrol, somehow it always hits back even harder on the household when it comes to a woman who owns a business, because time gets very limited. There's too many things to look at. So we thought if we can assist women in business, that will help us and have a ripple effect, because the industries are still very much male dominated. But when you find women who are running their businesses and you can assist them in growing their potential by managing their time well, the results that become endless, because women have this nurturing thing and they have this way of translating that into business. And we are noticing the trend of what businesses really want to growth. It's those businesses that are nurtured. It's those businesses that are really taken care of. So for us, we thought, why not focus on women? Because we really do realize that there's still too many male players, especially within the tech space. Can't we get in there and find these women who started tech businesses? We are not just limited to only taking in women. We are not just limited to young people. Yes, it's youth and women businesses in tech, but you always will have your 80% that satisfies your bosses, your suits, you have to keep them happy. But you'll still have that 20%, someone who will come to you and say, Coach, but I'm not even in a tech space. Just it's that what I'm doing will require an app. I think you can assist me. You want to accommodate those types of people. You want to go back to your donor and say, I was really pushed to really take this person in and not let them, when I see that we do have relevant resources that we can assist them with, things like your mentoring, etc. So I really wanted to push for this, but allow me to work with them and see if they come through with me to the growth phase. So for us, yes, women businesses in tech, and we really, really like focusing on women-owned businesses and some of the interactions that we've had, because we've had other programs for the longest time at TechnoServe, and we have other programs that are running as well. We are so strong in textile as well. So we've worked with a lot of women who are in that space, and we've learned from them. We've realized how they manage their time. And we thought, if the tech guys as well can manage their time way, maybe the two can start working together. I'm here sewing my stuff, but I need a website. I need to be online. I need e-commerce. I'm here quick designing, but I don't have, then we can start to see how the business can also collaborate. I know I gave you an extremely long answer to a rather short question, but you touched me on my passion.
I completely understand. And it's actually really fascinating because not so long ago, I went to some technology awards, and there were barely women-owned businesses. So I completely get what you're saying. Moving on, TechnoServe is doing incredible work, and it doesn't only end in South Africa. I found that it's 30 countries. Can you tell us a bit more about some of the countries that TechnoServe is involved with and some of the impacts that you have seen as coach?
Yes, so TechnoServe, I chose them on a full-time basis 2 years ago, is it? but I had always worked with them as a friend when I'm asked to chip in and do some work for them. So I've always understood their company culture. I've always known how big they are, especially within the region, within the African region. They've done some marvelous work in farming. We still do, I'm still calling them there. You see, I'm such a newbie in the team. But we are doing some lab in Mozambique. It's really a big organization, over, like you're saying, in over 30 countries. We actually can absorb, we actually can learn from our own selves. We actually can look at TechnoServe's previous victories, and it helps us to have that stepping stone, that springboard, if you will, because we are then tapping into deep knowledge and deep experience, but we are also allowed to innovate it and make sure that we customize it per region. You'll find that one of our main values is collaboration and accountability. For us, we like to hold ourselves accountable. So when we do all this work, we want lasting impact. That's one of our values. Are very serious about lasting impact, because without lasting impact, then it means we are just on a thing. We are not really helping to solve poverty by using business principles. So we tap into some of that, because TechnoServe has always believed in using business to really solve the poverty issues. And we tap into all of that knowledge. We customize it to your current cohorts, your current region where you are. For us, it's even with provinces. Gauteng, you look at, but what do the entrepreneurs in Gauteng really actually want? And TechnoServe allows us all this kind of ecosystem that has been built through years and tested, and we tap into some of the learning. So from time to time, we'll sit and we'll talk about the learnings that we've had through the program that we've just done. How did we interact with the donors? How did we find our points of making an actual difference into the businesses' lives? So we sit and we have these conversations, and they are very meaningful for us. I mean, just now in November, we had the Global Entrepreneurship Week celebrations. We had a 3-day event. And even with that, it was still reflection for us to be able to ask the entrepreneur, how should we shift and change the program so that they speak to you directly and we really solve your businesses and help you grow?
Yeah. Oh, wow. And there's a 30-month program that's, I don't know whether it's underway. Please correct me if I'm wrong, or that's coming up, which is the Women in Tech program. Can you tell us a bit more about that? And for people that are interested in getting involved, how does it work?
That I was referring to earlier, and I was, give me some more time to talk. It's my baby. I'm so passionate about it. I'm so happy with it. I'm a team player in it. I have a supervisor that just works magic for us. We have a ED manager that just works magic for us. The whole team is set up for a program such as this.
Okay.
Take it down for you. So it is called the Youth and Women Businesses in Tech.
Okay.
And it is 30 months because we wanted to take the first 18 months and just do survival to recovery. The program is set by a donor called SAFT, the South African Future Trust. That's a fund that was created by foundations like the Oppenheimer Foundation, etc. So these are people who looked at COVID-19 particularly and saw the deep impact that it had on small businesses and said, can't we find people who are running programs, people like TechnoServe, who have the know-how in putting together those kinds of programs, enterprise development? Can't we talk to them and give them certain funds so that we can assist the businesses that were hardest hit by COVID-19? Yeah. So the first 18 months were just working with businesses that are trying to be surviving and recovering. You will find that these are one-man shows. You will find that this is someone who works from home. They are a graphic designer. And when something like that happens, they don't have the necessary systems for a business to still throw something that big, you know? So you will find that your assistants must have something like grant funding, must mentorship. And we make sure that the mentors are within the tech space, because we genuinely believe that guys need, half the time guys know exactly what they're doing. They can create the best website, but they need access to markets. They need to meet new relationships. They need to, so that's how the program was built in, but they are a technical mentor who's in the ICT space, who's where the mentee is also playing, so that we can see if we can't get them into relationships. That way we would really help them to survive and to recover. Now we are at a stage, that part ends now in October 2022. We are now entering the growth phase. So if you go to your.co.za, you will find all the criteria for the growth phase. We are now recruiting for the growth phase. In fact, just last week, I was down in Durban talking to some of the insight into the program, seeing their businesses and seeing how we can assist them really with growth now, because what we wanted to do is that you can go to yawbit.co.za to see the criteria that we have for the businesses that we want to take with us into the growth phase, because we are now firmly recruiting for the growth phase. And we are looking for those businesses. We've even expanded the scope a little bit. So what usually happens with recruitment with programs is that you will have criteria. You will say, I'm looking for a candidate that's this, da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will apply. And somewhere in there, you'll have to play a serious balancing game where you look at the businesses, you talk to them, you give them a fair shot for them to be able to say, I genuinely believe that even that revenue right now, this is where I'm going. I have a growth plan. I need your assistance. When you find businesses like, take them with you and you help them to develop a growth plan. So we have that growth plan. We introduce you to a technical mentor who's working in that field, who can introduce you to other relationships. We know that that's how we can grow your business. And ask for an income and expenditure report from the guys, because we want to see realistic growth. One of our values is lasting impact. So we want to make sure that we measure the things that matter and real up in our bank accounts. Very busy. The business is not very, very busy. The account is not very, very busy. So we want to take that income and expenditure as our measurement. We want to give you tools and give you a mentor, assist you to really now move with us into the growth phase. That's why then it's a 30-month program.
Oh, makes a lot of sense. And which fields are you focusing on? Because I saw there's a breakdown in terms of the fields.
Yes. So by and large, we're looking at your graphic designers, maintenance guys, even website designers, developers, even social media marketing. But like I said, you look at criteria and you look at, well, which kind of responses am I getting? And in the initial, because of COVID-19, it was drawn up in such a way that we are only existent in Gauteng. We then went back to the donors and went back to everyone who's working on the program, gave them the results as they are from recruitment phase. We could all see that for the next cohorts, we need to move with even out of Gauteng. So now we have entrepreneurs that are out in Limpopo. We have entrepreneurs in KZN. That scope, that criteria that you are asking about, we said to ourselves, well, we really wanted someone who already has a mindset of because we want someone who already has at least a minimum of one employee. Of course, if you sit down with me and you show me your growth that, okay, you are going there, we can still talk if you don't have an employee. Really, we want someone who has one employee. We want minimum a month in revenue. And to the specific kind of business that we are looking for, to your question directly, you could be in IT maintenance, you could be a graphic designer, you could be an app developer, you could be a website developer. We expanded that scope as well. So now even guys that are DSTV installers, guys that are in the electronic space, say maybe a guy who is fixing, I have a guy in KZN who's fixing cell phones. We are now even expanding it like that so that we include other guys as well working within what we would see as technology.
Oh, wow. I love that it involves all kinds of fields. And lastly, Coach, do you have any closing words for people that are interested in TechnoServe?
Yes, so main thing is to go online, just find out more about TechnoServe, because like we said earlier, we are in so many countries. We do have a very large pool of experience. Just see the programs that are there that we are doing. Particularly for the South African TechnoServe, you can go to .org.za and be able to see some of the work that we are doing. Specifically for this program that is focusing on youth and women businesses in tech, you can go to youth, stand for Youth and Women Businesses in Tech. It's yawbit.co.za. Then you'll find the program. But yes, go online, go on Facebook, find Yawbit on Facebook. We've put a lot of information on there. It's very important that we start circulating information the right way. And just may I say, I've really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you.